Good afternoon and welcome to the latest results show for the Concours Virtual in aid of UNICEF and presented by Haggerty. Today's class is Class Q, Isolation Island Models. This is a really special class. It was one of the first virtual concours to be instigated at the beginning of lockdown. And we've got Andy Reid, who was the originator of the concours, and he's been running it for the last few months. So we're delighted to have the concours here, and we have the Chairman's Awards and the Best in Show for the first 6 concours, Andy?
Correct, first 6 rounds.
First half a dozen concours, so that's fantastic. My name's Jeff Love, I'm the co-chair of the concours. To my right is David Lillywhite, co-chair, and also a judge on the Isolation Island concours, and Andy Reid, who I've said was the originator of this particular class. So, David, tell me 3, 2, 1, the people's vote for this particular class.
Okay, so these are the votes that come in via the website and social media. Lots and lots of votes. And straight into it, 3rd place, we've got the 1978 Porsche 911 SC Safari. Now this is 1/43rd scale, really, really nice looking model. And what the guy's done is owned by Philip van der Hoot. He has taken a known individual car, and initially he did a very small scale version of it. And then the owner met him and they chatted about it. And he's ended up doing this much larger version of it, a sort of exact replica of the real car for the owner. So really, really cool thing. Well worth a look on the website if you haven't seen it. 2nd place, we've got really beautiful 1967 Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale Prototipo. It's owned by Sean Zeek. It's an auto art model, 1/18th scale. It's just beautiful, really sublime model. 1st place, and this is a particular favourite of mine actually, when I've been judging on the Isolation Island, this one I chose as a Magneto winner as well. We've got a Magneto magazine class, and it's just phenomenal thing. You've got to have a look at the detail on it. It's 1960 Mercedes-Benz car transporter. It's built by Stuart Hobbs. Now, it's not the famous blue car transporter that you'll have seen that takes a couple of cars. Stuart looked at that and thought, well, why on earth didn't Mercedes, in period, have a bigger car transporter? So he was a bit inspired by the famous Fiat Bartolotti transporter. So what he did, he created his own. And he hand built it from plastic and wood and even bits of cotton sheet, believe it or not. And all the little detailing, he bought some tools from an old doll's house. He made his own workbench for it. It's just a great looking thing, and there's so much detail. So congratulations, Stuart. I think that's a brilliant choice. Over to you, Jeff.
Thanks, David. Yeah, I agree. That transporter was fantastic, wasn't it? And presented so well as well in the concours. So yeah, well done, Stuart. So Andy, before we go through the judges' votes, tell me, you've been running this now for 6 months. What inspired you in the first place, and how can you keep going on?
That's a good question. What inspired me first is my friend Vu Gwen from who's the chairman of the Porsche Club of America, was sitting around his house one Sunday, like in March, and he put this little video together of cars and coffee on the carpet. And I said, he goes, make one for me and send it back. So I made one of my little cars. And as I was doing, I'm like, they're doing this exercise. I thought, wow, there's something different. There's something in this. I bet everybody's as bored as Vu and I am. So I made some phone calls to some Concours judges and said, hey, what if we did this die-cast Concours and we judged it like we judged a proper Concours as best as we could online? And everyone agreed to do it, from Bill Warner and Michael Allen Ross and Michael Furman and Tommy Kendall, David Hobbs. They all agreed to judge. And then I'm like, okay, I guess I have to do this now. And we did round one. I thought it would go 1 or 2 rounds maybe, and that would be it. But now we're completing round 7 today, with probably 5 more rounds in sight. We have sponsors now. We've also raised almost $80,000 for charity with the Concours, which is an astounding number. Kind of a staggering number for a toy car Concours on Facebook. So that's pretty amazing. And we give out our real awards. We have all our judges. People want to judge. They keep on bugging me. We just added Bobby Rahal as a judge to judge slot cars, which is kind of hysterical that we keep on getting these top tier judges. When people ask the judge, I go, well, find where you fit better than someone else that's there, because we've literally gathered the best people on the planet to be able to do this. And it's just been amazing. The response has been astounding. I think it's probably going to go throughout the year. People tell me, get ready for 2021 because it's probably not going to stop. And I'm thinking, oh dear God, what have I done? Because it takes a lot of time. Dirk de Jager has been a critical component to my help, to helping me do this, as well as people like Bill Warner and Gordon McCall, and even David, who's done work with us too, besides just judging. So
it's we know a little bit of what you feel. I mean, you created a monster, and I'd like to say that you were an inspiration for some of the early conversations that we had with our own as well. I mean, it was very much, we looked at what you were doing and thought, well, can we do this with full scale cars as well? But I'm not sure whether to say you're the inspiration or we now blame you for all the work that we've had to go through to put this together.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a great event. If people have not had a look at it, I mean, it's still going. It's on Facebook. It's very engaging. There's a lot of cars coming through, and it's run on a monthly basis, isn't it?
Yes. This next round 8 will start on Thursday, and then it will end in August, and then the Thursday in August after the Tuesday of awards in August, the first week of August for that will end, and then we'll go to the next one.
Fine, and there's 10 rounds, so there's an opportunity every 4 weeks for everyone to get involved. So I'd urge anyone, if you've got scale models, it's a fun thing to do, and an amazing amount raised for charity. So get involved. But anyway, that's the background to it, and congratulations for putting it on. But
thank you.
We have the results for the Concours, the isolation models in our Concours. So tell me, Andy, 3, 2, 1, who's won the Concours?
Well, third was our first round best of show, and it's Sean Zeek with his Alpha 33 Stradale, and that was the first time it was the first entry in that was just astounding and staggering amount of photography involved. And first of all, the car itself is beautiful, the presentation is beautiful, and we just couldn't believe that it really showed. It kind of set the standard for a lot of people in the Concours for what could be done. We didn't know. We thought there'd just be pictures of Hot Wheels and such. So that was our number 3 choice. We remember when I first saw it, Dirk and I were like just mind boggled by how good it was. So that was it was an easy choice for third. Mm-hmm. Our second choice car went to the BMW CSL Calder Art car, owned by Peter Singhoff and photographed by Peter Singhoff. And if you don't know Peter, I think he's appeared in your magazine in photography. He's a tremendous photographer, and he's also a car collector that he won't tell you that though, because he's secret about it. Of proper
not
size.
Anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Sorry, Peter. He says he's not. We had a big argument about this the other day, but he really is. But he's just a huge enthusiast. He's a brilliant photographer, and Dirk is a friend of his, and he won the photography award a couple of rounds back, and he won my chairman's award for this car because we both love the Calder Art car ourselves, and it just the way he presented it looks like a real car. It really, really looks like a real car shot in the studio. So that was an easy second place. In round 2, we did a Sterling Moss class because Sterling had just passed, and so I jumped on that and said, I got to know Sterling quite a bit over the years, and really love the man. And I thought we need to do a Sterling Moss class, and so we hurriedly put it together. And one of our entries was Conrad Van Dorp for his 300 SLR, and again, he's another one of those competitors in our Concours that enters over and over again, and his photography is amazing. People call him out on it and say, well, you didn't do this, but I know he does. He does it all himself. He does these cutaways and these skeletal views. And it's just a brilliant presentation of a tremendously important car. So
So first place then goes to the 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR.
Correct.
Yeah, fantastic. And actually that's also one in the Sterling Moss class in the Concours Virtual as well. So that's very neat that it's won both in the scale model class and in the main class as well. So
yep.
Thank you very much, Andy. Congratulations on the Isolation Island Model Concours itself. Okay, so to recap then, in third place was the 1967 Alfa Romeo Stradale Prototipo, owned by Sean Zeek. In second place was the 1975 BMW Alexander Calder art car, owned by Peter Singhoff. And in first place was the 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR, owned by Conrad van Dor. So fantastic. Thank you all very much. Thank you, David. Thank you, Andrew. Remember, this is for UNICEF. So if you get the opportunity, please visit the Just Giving page and donate and keep coming back. We're in the last week of the Concours now. 9th of August is the final best in show. There's fantastic cars now lining up to compete for that final honour. Thank you very much and see you soon.